Thomas and Percy puffed up to Hero's hideout. Percy saw Hero for the first time. He gasped.
Hero, this is my best friend, Percy. Hello?
Hello, Percy. You have a very special best friend. I think that is because you are special, too.
Do you have best friends?
Yes, I do. At home.
Do you miss them?
I do.
That's sad.
Don't be sad. Look at my new funnel. Gordon brought it for me. When Gordon smiles, it changes his whole face. It is most interesting.
That made Thomas and Percy smile.
Good night, Hero.
Good night, my friends. Until tomorrow.
On their way home, Thomas and Percy chuffed cheerily past the summer house. Their wheels whirred and their boilers bubbled. Neither of them saw Spencer. Spencer saw them. He was hiding in the shadows. Once they had passed, he slid silently out of the siding.
I'm going to find out what that tricky tank engine is doing. It's time for Steely Spencer to hunt for clues.
In the morning, Thomas puffed off with Percy to find his mail cars.
Are you sure you can't remember where you left them, Percy? I can't! Think very hard, Percy.
I am, but I can only think about Hero.
Emily was busy doing Thomas's jobs on his branch line. Spencer watched her. Emily didn't take any notice of him.
Why is Thomas puffing around the summer house?
I don't know. Thomas is a busy engine. He chuffs all over the island.
This made Spencer cross.
Why are you working on Thomas's branch line?
Because, as I said, Thomas is a busy engine.
Where is he busy?
You're a big, strong engine, Spencer. Why don't you go and look?
Spencer really didn't like this. He stared hard at Emily. Spencer stared so hard, he didn't see Percy and Thomas puff by on the upper track. Nor did he see Edward huff by with a flatbed of engine parts for Hero. That evening, Thomas and Percy puffed up to Hero's hideout.
Look at me now.
Hero's boiler was finished. He was a colorful patchwork of parts. Thomas and Percy were very happy.
You look wonderful. Hooray!
Oh, thank you. But I'm worried for you. That silver engine was sniffing around here last night. Stay away for a little while. Your friends are taking good care of me. Today, Edward was very wise, and tomorrow I think James is coming.
James isn't wise at all. He's a bossy boiler.
And for the first time, Thomas and Percy heard Hero laugh. Loud, long, and happy. The next morning, Thomas and Percy searched the quarry for the mail cars. They couldn't find the cars, but they found Spencer. Mavis was delighted to see Spencer.
Spencer, what an honor. Let me take you around the quarry.
Thomas and Percy thought that was very funny. Spencer didn't. He scowled. And he didn't see James puffing by with a flatbed of parts for Hero. Mavis proudly took Spencer under the slate hopper. He chuffed too quickly. Then, too slowly. Then he rolled back too far. Slate and dust flew down his funnel and bounced off his boiler. Later, Thomas and Percy were taking on coal. Emily chuffed by. She had a flatbed of old parts for Hero. Emily was very excited.
Good luck, Emily.
Then Thomas saw Spencer. Percy gasped.
Cinders and ashes.
Spencer was being pulled by Edward and shunted by Henry. Slate dust had blocked his funnel. Spencer had to go to the Sodor Steamworks. Now, Thomas and Percy could visit Hero safely. They were excited. Hero looked more and more like a really useful engine.
Thomas, I must be really useful before Sir Topham Hatt sees me.
You will be, Hero. Don't worry. I'll make sure of that.
Listen, Spencer. Looking miserable doesn't get the job done any faster. Tomorrow you will be fixed. Come on, give me a smile, just to show me you can.
Thomas and Percy puffed in.
Kevin!
Then, Victor saw that Spencer had closed his eyes because of the noise. Victor winked at Thomas.
No problem, Kevin. Those hooks can be slippy. You're doing a good job, Kevin. Keep going.
And Thomas chuffed carefully away from Spencer and off to Hero with his new parts.
Hero, what do you think about when you're alone?
My home. Since I have been talking to you and your friends about it, I miss it more than ever.
Thomas understood how hard it must be for Hero to be away from home. He wanted to cheer him up.
Tomorrow, Percy is going to puff across the island to get the last part we need for you. Then you will be ready. You won't have to be alone anymore.
Thank you, Thomas. You understand me well.
That night, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for Thomas at Tidmouth Sheds. He was cross.
Thomas, the mail cars are still missing. Spencer is at the Sodor Steamworks. The building materials for the summer house are stacked up at the docks, and you're not working on your branch line. What is going on?
I'm sorry, sir. Tomorrow I will make sure everything is put right.
Tomorrow, then, Thomas. Don't worry, Thomas.
Tomorrow, Percy will get the last part Hero needs.
We'll all take it in turns to guard Hero.
Tomorrow, it will all be all right.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Dawn broke across the island of Sodor. Spencer was back on the tracks.
Today, I will find out what tricky Thomas is up to.
Spencer was looking for clues. He looked behind bushes. He steamed down sidings and puffed closer and closer to Hero's hiding place. Suddenly, Spencer whistled long and hard.
What's this I've found?
James and Toby heard Spencer. They pumped their pistons.
Rattle my rods. I found Percy's mail cars. These must be part of Tricky Thomas's tricks.
Suddenly, James and Toby steamed out. Spencer had puffed too close to Hero. James blew his whistle, and Toby rang his bell. Together, they chased the mighty Spencer down the track and away from Hero. The three engines raced and roared to a junction. Then Thomas chuffed towards Spencer. Spencer was blocked. He couldn't puff forwards, and he couldn't huff backwards. And he had Percy's mail cars.
Spencer, why did you take Percy's mail cars? You have caused confusion and delay.
But I didn't take the...
I'm not interested in your excuses, Spencer. Find Percy and give him back his mail cars. At once.
I won't let Thomas get away with this.
That afternoon, Hero was waiting for Thomas. He was excited. His firebox flared and his steam swirled.
Percy will be here soon with your water injector. It's the last part you'll need to make enough steam.
I wonder if Sir Topham Hatt will have seen any pictures of me.
Of course he will. He will be very proud to have you as part of his railway.
I'm so happy. I have waited a long time.
Suddenly, there was the sound of a loud whistle. It was a whistle they both feared.
It's Spencer.
He's found us. Help Thomas. Spencer will make sure I'm sent to the smelter's yard.
No, he won't, Hero. You're nearly fixed. You can puff away from Spencer. Follow me.
So, with a pounding puff and a heaving huff, Hero was on the tracks, following Thomas to steam away from Spencer. Hero steamed down the track, rattling and clattering. His pistons pumped and his boiler bubbled.
Well done, Hero!
Thank you, Thomas!
Then there was trouble. Spencer snaked onto the tracks behind Thomas.
Found you, Thomas.
Spencer!
Thomas's wheels whirred like the wind.
You won't get away from me this time.
Hero chuffed as fast as he could. He wanted to whoosh away from Spencer. Then Spencer saw Hero and gasped. Spencer had never seen an engine as strange as Hero before.
Who are you?
Hero!
Thomas!
That engine can't even puff properly.
Hero's engine had started to clatter and clunk. His steam dome shook and his cylinders creaked. Hero was worried. Without the last engine part, Hero could only sputter and splutter. Hero's new lamp broke loose and hit Spencer. Now Hero's engine started to judder and jitter. Parts fell off. They clanged and they banged onto the track.
No! Don't worry, Hero! You can do it!
Thomas, help me!
But the harder Hero huffed, the worse he wobbled.
Keep puffing, Hero!
More parts clattered and scattered from Hero's engine.
Thomas! You can do it, Hero!
I don't think he can.
Hero knew Spencer was right. The master of the railway was once more a heap of scrap. Hero couldn't puff on.
Is this what you've been doing, Thomas? Making a heap of scrap for the smelter's yard? Because that's the only thing that this engine's good for. Sir Topham Hatt will make sure of that.
Thomas felt terrible. He had worked so hard, but he had let Hero down.
How can I stop Hero going to the smelter's yard now?
Then Thomas heard another whistle. It was Gordon and the Express.
I'll race you to Maithwaite, slowpoke, Spencer! I'll win!
Spencer was surprised. He saw Gordon thunder ahead with the Express.
Oh, no, you won't, Gordon. I'll win.
Spencer steamed after Gordon. His funnel flared and his wheels whirred. He didn't see Thomas looking down a smaller track.
Don't worry, Hero. We'll hide you down here. Everything will be all right.
But poor Hero looked sadder than ever.